Today I'm sharing a traditional Irish brown soda bread recipe. It has just a few ingredients and it's easy to make. Hi sweet friends, I'm Mary and welcome to Mary's Nest. I'm a former New York City girl now living the simple life with my sweet husband here in the Texas Hill Country. And this channel is all about cooking from scratch, living naturally, and creating a cozy home with charming thrift store finds. So if you're like me and you want to live the simple life, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click on the little notification bell that'll let you know every time I upload a new video. Now this is a very basic recipe for an Irish brown soda bread. You can certainly jazz it up and add raisins or currants. You can add an egg, you can add more sugar. There are various things that people do to jazz up soda bread. But today I want to share with you just a very basic bread. Now the first thing that you're going to need to start with is 4 cups of whole wheat flour. Now if you have Irish wholemeal flour, which is a coarsely ground red wheat, that's great. But if not, don't worry. Whole wheat, just regular plain whole wheat that you can find at your grocery store will work in a pinch. And the next thing you're going to need is 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And the next you're going to need 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now, if you don't have baking soda, you can use baking powder, but then when it comes to adding the wet ingredients, in our case buttermilk, you're going to want to use regular milk. And as I mentioned about the buttermilk, we're going to need 2 to 3 cups of buttermilk. We're going to start with 2 cups and we're going to look at the texture of it and then we'll see how much more we need to add. So this couldn't be easier. All we're going to do is just mix in all our ingredients together in a bowl like this. I'm just using a whisk. You can use a spoon, whatever you want. Just make sure you get that salt and baking soda and all-purpose flour well incorporated with the whole wheat flour. Now if you don't have buttermilk, don't worry. As I mentioned before, you can use baking powder instead of the baking soda and just use regular milk. Or if you want to use baking soda and you want the flavor of the buttermilk, you can simply take regular milk, add a little lemon juice, and let it sour on the counter. The other option is you can take some yogurt and thin it with milk to the consistency of buttermilk, and that'll work too. So I've just made a little well in the middle here, and I'm going to get ready and go ahead and pour in my first cup of buttermilk. And now my second cup of buttermilk will go in. So now all you want to do is take your hand, make it kind of like a claw, and you just want to go in, clean hands of course, and you want to go in and start to mix in all your flour into your buttermilk. And just keep your hand just like that, like a little claw, and just work the flour in to the buttermilk. Keeping your hand open like that. No need to mix it aggressively, just very gently, just with an open hand. Okay, I just want to show you, it's quite dry, so it's definitely going to need that 3rd cup of buttermilk. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in, and then I'll continue to mix it all together, and then I'll show you how we pull it together and make it into a loaf. Well, I've got the dough all mixed up and it looks perfect. It's going to be sort of a wet, straggly dough. Now I cleaned my hands, but I floured them and I floured my board. And all you're going to want to do is just take this out of the bowl and put it right onto your floured board here. And then all I'm going to do is just flip it over like that. So I've got some flour dusted on each side. And then basically we're just going to shape it into the shape that we want, just a nice round shape. Not too much kneading, just a little bit of shaping, and then that's going to be it. So basically that's it. I just keep kind of patting it around a little until I get it into a nice, let me lift this up for you so you can see, a nice shape. And we'll get ready to put it into our pan to get ready to bake it. Now I've got my oven preheated to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to bake my Irish soda bread in a cast iron pan. You can also do it on a baking sheet, either is fine. And I've just got this greased with some beef tallow. You can use lard, butter, whatever you like. And I've got the bread now. I've got it right here on my lifter, and I'm just going to put it right into there. Perfect. Let me just get that situated perfectly. And now we have to do the most important thing, and that is to make a cross across the top, because as I learned from my Irish father, you must let the fairies out, otherwise the bread won't rise. So with a sharp knife, I'm just going to make a cross right across the front, right across the top, I mean. Perfect. Now, the next thing we're going to do is get a little milk, and I'm just going to take a pastry brush and brush it all over with a little milk, and then we're going to put some salt on top and pop it in the oven. Well, I've got it brushed with the milk, and now I'm just going to sprinkle a really nice, this is a nice flaked salt, and that'll give it a nice little savory, salty flavor, which will go perfect with what it's going to be served with, the corned beef and cabbage. And into the oven it goes. Now I'm going to leave that in the oven for 30 minutes, and at that time I'll check it. If it looks nicely brown, I'll lift it up, I'll give it a little tap on the bottom. If it sounds hollow, I'll know it's done. If not, I'll give it another 5 or 10 minutes. Look at this gloriousness, traditional Irish brown soda bread. I know I should wait till it cools more, but I think we need to go in for a taste. Oh, listen to that. For more bread recipes, be sure to subscribe to my channel and then click on this video over here where I show you how to make yeast rolls in a cast iron pan. And I'll see you over there in my Texas Hill Country kitchen. Love and God bless and happy St. Patrick's Day. Mmm.